The rainbow community around the world has faced a lot of pain and discrimination since the beginning of time. In Western nations, the prejudice against the rainbow community could often be sourced back to Christian teachings. Messages from the Bible, as seen here in Leviticus and Corinthians, suggest homosexuality is a sin against God and even an abomination. This has led to churches around the world offering what has come to be known as conversion therapy. Invented in the 1990s by a man named Joseph Nicolosi, conversion therapy is the practice of attempting to turn someone who is gay, lesbian, or bisexual through prayer, counselling, and other more sinister methods into a straight person. Despite this practice being banned in nations like Australia, New Zealand still currently allows gay conversion therapy to occur within our churches. A petition signed by over 20,000 people was brought to the Justice Committee this year and called for conversion therapy to be banned. That did not go to plan. However, protesters have not given up and are continuing forward with trying to ban the harmful practice. After hearing all this, we decided to ask a few of our interviewees their thoughts on the matter. Andrew McFarlane has personal experience with conversion therapy. He went undercover for a TVNZ Sunday program into several therapy sessions, posing as someone struggling with their sexuality.
We did, I think, 4 or 5 sessions with 4 or 5 different people, and everyone had their own sort of different approach to how they would talk about, sexuality and, whether you could change it or not. And, there were particular ones where you'd come away from it, you'd kind of just be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the garbage this person's telling me. But then there'd be other ones where I would come out and I'd just feel mentally exhausted, like I'd sort of spent the last hour trying to justify my existence or something. And in these sessions, I was posing as someone who was questioning their sexuality. So for me, underneath all that, of course, I was, confident in who I was, and I didn't feel like I was questioning that, but I couldn't imagine what it would be like for someone who is questioning their sexuality to go through those experiences. Like, it's quite weird to talk about how I felt about it, because while I found it difficult, it would just be so much more difficult for someone who was actually kind of in one of those sessions legitimately, they were there to actually possibly try and change their sexuality, or they'd been forced there by someone, so it would be so much more difficult. But yeah, it was a really eye-opening experience. It resulted in a petition being sent to Parliament with more than 20,000 signatures, which is really cool. And I'm like only one tiny cog in that story. There was, Matt Chisholm was the Sunday reporter for it. But it was really cool to be a tiny part of that. Personally, I don't think it's a valid practice, and I think it's, misleading to even call it therapy in the first place, because most of the time the people who are offering these so-called services aren't trained counsellors. They don't have a qualification in this area, so to even call it conversion therapy from them is misleading.
Pastors Matthew and Marty, as leaders within the church, also have strong opinions on the subject.
Conversion therapy seems to me to be wanting to say that everybody has to be the same and difference is bad, and I just don't believe that. Farid Ahmed, after the shootings at the mosque just down the road, at the National Memorial Service in Hagley Park, used the image for humanity of the garden. And he said what makes a garden beautiful is that there are different kinds of plants in it. You don't want all the plants to be the same. It would be stupid to expect them to be. And in fact, the beauty of the whole thing is fed by the variety and the diversity in the garden. And he said, humanity's like that. And I'm a Muslim and you're a Christian and she's a Jew. That's all right. Maybe it's even beautiful. Yeah, if variety is beautiful, if it's part of God's design, if we're to rejoice in it, why force gay people to be straight?
My job as a pastor is not to try and convert someone from something to something else. My job as a pastor is to love them and to point them towards Jesus. And my job is to walk with them in whatever that journey looks like.